Welcome to Hero Villains. What do you think Onslaught vs. Doomsday when superintelligence meets immortal destructive instinct? Who will win? Onslaught is one of Marvel's most dangerous villains, formed from the fusion of the minds of Professor X and Magneto. He possesses genius intelligence, extreme telepathy, and the power to control magnetic fields at a terrifying level. When these powers are combined, Onslaught becomes a spiritual physical entity that can manipulate thoughts, bend reality, create nearly impenetrable force fields, and emit psychic attacks that can shake even the strongest superheroes. Doomsday is a nightmare from DC. Born from a brutal evolutionary experiment on ancient Krypton, he has gone through thousands of deaths to achieve evolutionary immortality. Doomsday possesses physical strength far surpassing Superman, superhuman speed, terrifying healing factors, and the scariest trait. He instantly evolves to resist any attack that has ever defeated him. Once Doomsday is defeated, he returns stronger, never falling by the same method. Before we dive into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Onslaught is a dark psychic entity born from the chaotic interplay between Magneto and Charles Xavier. The cause originated when Magneto, in a fit of rage, used his power to tear the adamantium layer from Wolverine's body, leaving him in terrible physical and mental pain. In a moment of loss of control, Xavier imposed his psychic power to paralyze Magneto's mind, forcing him to become submissive. However, that action not only stopped Magneto, but also led to an unpredictable consequence. Xavier's and Magneto's subconscious minds merging two opposing wills, and from there formed Onslaught, an evil entity that possessed both Xavier's superior intelligence and Magneto's terrible destructive power. Initially, Onslaught remained dormant, but that darkness gradually awakened when Xavier witnessed the tragic death of an innocent mutant. Pain and resentment awakened Onslaught, allowing him to transcend the boundaries of his soul. His power then exploded to the point that the Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four were forced to join forces to fight him. The battle with Onslaught was considered one of the most terrifying challenges the heroes had ever faced. Eventually, Onslaught's psychic energy found a home in a nearly impenetrable suit of armor, which became the perfect shield. His power only truly exploded when he confronted the X-Men and Thor. During the fierce battle, Nate Gray launched a direct attack, cracking the armor's solid surface. Cyclops quickly seized the opportunity, channeling all his power into a giant optic blast, shattering the seemingly impenetrable armor. The pivotal moment came when Thor, taking advantage of the expanding crack, charged straight through the armor and from within, tore apart Xavier's physical body. However, that did not weaken Onslaught as everyone expected, but on the contrary, he became more cruel and inhuman than ever. Before, Xavier still retained some will to restrain the dark impulses, somewhat reducing the explosion of power, but when Xavier was eliminated, the only balance disappeared. The brutal will of Eric Lehnsherr, aka Magneto, became the main source of power left. From that moment, Onslaught was not only an entity with intelligence and power, he became increasingly difficult to control, like a never-ending spiritual storm, threatening to drown the entire world in darkness. Onslaught was extremely powerful. It took an entire team of X-Men and Avengers to defeat him. It was not until the Hulk stepped in that they were able to truly destroy Onslaught's armor. But that only released Onslaught from the universe. Thor realized he could destroy Onslaught's energy, so he flew into the newly released energy form. The mutants could not move with him, but the Avengers and Fantastic Four followed Thor into the energy field and dissolved him. However, Onslaught later proved himself when he easily defeated the X-Men and Avengers alliance. In intense battles, he defeated many top heroes such as Captain America, Thor, Wolverine, and Cyclops, causing both teams, which were considered the strongest defense lines of Earth, to collapse. Even the Hulk, with his almost limitless strength, was quickly defeated by his overwhelming power. Not stopping there, Onslaught also destroyed countless Sentinels, the eternal enemies of mutants, and then created separate versions called Onslaught Sentinels. They were programmed to hunt down and destroy all mutants, clearly showing his unlimited ambition and cruelty. Onslaught's most terrifying abilities are his ability to manipulate reality. He can create an alternate reality, build a pocket universe to imprison and control many heroes.
Even more climaxing, Onslaught once had a confrontation with Galactus, a giant entity considered a symbol of cosmic destruction. Not only that, he also directly encountered Franklin Richards, a mutant who was considered one of the most powerful mutants in the entire history of mutant kind. He then captured Franklin Richards and then Nate Gray because of his telepathic powers. With the powerful mutants inside, he reprogrammed the guards to have a robot army and destroy the non-mutant superhumans, and then he added the ability to warp reality and Nate Gray to enhance his power. So he is extremely powerful, a pure psychic being. He has many different superpowers, including reality manipulation, creating alternate realities and dimensions, telepathy and mind control, power absorption, superhuman strength and durability, energy projection and energy blasts, telekinesis, interdimensional travel, creating his own guardians and powerful psychic powers. When the Hulk broke his supposedly invulnerable shell, all the non-mutant heroes jumped into the psychic storm to absorb the energy into their bodies. With enough mass to absorb the Hulk's essence, attacked from the inside and outside, Onslaught collapsed into a ball-shaped reality, later known as Heroes Reborn.
I really hope you subscribe to the channel, it helps us a lot, and you are the best. Thank you very much.
Doomsday is an inanimate force of destruction, created by a scientist named Bertron on the planet Krypton. Bertron repeatedly exposed the infant Doomsday to the harsh conditions of the planet. Doomsday has always been seen as the embodiment of destruction, a being so stubborn that it is almost impossible to subdue. He is like a mindless version of the Hulk in Marvel, but possesses the nature of an unstoppable force. In just one fight, Doomsday easily broke the arm of Wonder Woman, a warrior who possesses great strength and fighting skills. The fierce confrontation with Superman was even so fierce that it destroyed an entire moon in the Bizarro universe, proving the level of terrifying destruction he can cause. In the New 52, Superman once threw a punch so powerful that it threw Doomsday straight to Venus. Yet, even after being knocked out into space, he returned with undiminished fury. Superman had to fight to the limit to be able to push him back, but the cruel truth is that even after that victory, Doomsday reborn with a greater thirst for destruction. Zod's powerful punches had no effect, and even Wonder Woman's sword, a weapon that could cut through atomic layers, was useless against his invulnerable body because he always regenerated. Even more terrifying, the New 52 version of Doomsday was also covered in a toxic mist. Wherever he appeared, the surrounding environment rotted. Life eroded and disappeared. Only the New 52 Superman could withstand the poisonous gas for a mere 10 minutes. Even the strongest heroes could only hold out for a short time. Doomsday was thus not only a physical destroyer, but also a menace that spread destruction wherever he went. And Doomsday's battle with Superman was so great that it was considered legendary in Warworld. He could survive in any environment, destroying any living thing. If the Supreme Being somehow found any creature stronger than him, and was actually killed, he would rise again, evolving into a superior being. Kill him each time and clone him again, creating a creature that could adapt and evolve to resist all forms of physical harm. Eventually, Doomsday was strong enough to escape his imprisonment, and had the ability to regenerate from almost any wound and could not be killed unless disintegrated. Doomsday demonstrated his destructive nature through a series of terrible feats. He was strong enough to tear apart a large area of the Ghost Zone, which was considered solid and nearly impenetrable space. He single-handedly slaughtered thousands of Green Lanterns, elite warriors empowered by the Universal Ring. Doomsday's rampage did not stop there. He also stopped the simultaneous explosion of 100 nuclear bombs, which could have wiped out the entire planet in the blink of an eye. More surprisingly, he directly resisted Darkseid's Omega Beam and then destroyed the Tyrant himself, although Darkseid was famous for his multiversal feats. Doomsday also withstood a blast of terrible energy from the Guardian and continued to defeat the Justice League, the multiversal army of heroes. In a fierce battle, he endured 4,035 punches from Superman but remained standing, unshaken. His inhuman strength and resilience made him an unbreakable opponent. More tellingly, Doomsday once overpowered the entire Justice League while keeping only one hand tied behind his back. At that time, the JLA lineup included formidable heroes such as Guy Gardner, the second-generation Blue Beetle, Fire, Ice, Booster Gold, Maxima, and Bloodwind, who was actually Martian Manhunter in disguise. And Doomsday alone still overpowered this mighty group. When Imperiex turned Doomsday into a skeleton, Luthor somehow obtained that skeleton. To revive Doomsday, he tested many methods. The most effective method was to use a sample of Superman's blood mixed with kryptonite. Once placed on the skeleton, it would completely regenerate. Only, Doomsday was later revealed to have intelligence and even other abilities. Martian Manhunter actually confronted him and was completely overpowered by Doomsday. Superman had to step in to save Gian and defeat Doomsday. As you can see, Doomsday was not only smarter, but also had powers, like a form of heat breath. And apparently Superman knew it was Doomsday, so he fought smart and used all the skills he had. It was even pointed out that Doomsday had gained a weakness that he didn't have before. Now that Doomsday was smarter, he was no longer the killing machine of the past. His intelligence also opened up something new for Doomsday, the ability to feel fear, and like normal Kryptonians, fear could sap their powers. Due to his personality, Doomsday had only one simple goal: kill. He has no remorse, no thought before he acts. All he wants to do is kill any living thing. One of Doomsday's most powerful abilities is to overcome and build up immunity to all attacks. He is virtually immortal.
Onslaught is a telepathic being with immense physical and mental power, possessing the combined abilities of Professor X, Magneto, Franklin Richards, and Nate Gray. By combining the full potential of Franklin Richards and Nate Gray, his powers have been increased to godlike levels, including the ability to manipulate mass, create and reshape matter at will, and omnipotence. He can use his combined reality warping and telekinesis to enhance his physical strength to the point where he can go toe-to-toe with the Hulk, even when the Hulk's mind has gone blank and his strength and rage have reached incredible levels thanks to Jean Grey turning off the subconscious influence that Bruce Banner usually exerts on the Hulk to prevent him from going too far. Doomsday evolved in one of the most inhospitable environments ever created, prehistoric Krypton. Thanks to cloning technology, the infant repeatedly revived and evolved, becoming resistant or immune to whatever had previously killed him, and eventually gaining the ability to regenerate and evolve indefinitely without the need for technology. He was even resistant to Darkseid's Omega beams. Doomsday had an incredibly fast healing factor, allowing him to quickly recover from most injuries. Doomsday's skeleton protruded from his skin in sharp spurs, which protected several vital organs, his brain, eyes, and nervous system, and acted as claw-like weapons on his hands, elbows, and knees. Furthermore, the tips of these spurs contained deadly poison. Doomsday possessed immense superhuman strength, which, while variable, at times allowed him to easily take on the entire Justice League, including Superman and Orion. This battle is extremely difficult to answer who would be the clear winner between these two powerful forces. First, understanding the nature of Onslaught's power is key. He doesn't need a physical body because he is a purely psychic being. This means that while Doomsday can damage his physical armor, he can't defeat a purely psychic being with just strength and speed. On the other hand, while Onslaught is also capable of using pure physical strength, it won't be enough to defeat Doomsday. Doomsday is used to dealing with multiple bricks from DC. Onslaught's psychic power won't be enough to defeat Doomsday either. It's almost a stalemate, or Onslaught can only win through BFR, Battlefield Elimination, because neither of them can destroy each other. If we consider Doomsday as a predator, he is virtually immune to all physical attacks and can also adapt easily on the fly. Even a Guardian had to kill himself just to seal Doomsday away until the end of the world. Guardians are usually at least galactic in power, with the exception of Ganthet, who is considered the strongest Guardian. Onslaught's full power has the potential to be widespread and far beyond reality warping, but we have never seen it, nor have we seen any similar abilities. If it was just one fight, Onslaught would win 9 to 10 times. If it was multiple fights, Doomsday would win 6 to 10 times. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That's it for today's video. Thanks a lot.